These text messages being released, oh my days. This is not good. Like, what is going on? Like, what? What? Before we begin today's video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amen. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into this topic. Come on now. Let me put my glasses on. So there was a group chat. If you don't know, you probably know by now, but let me go ahead and just give you a rundown. There was a group chat that was made and created that had at least 18 users in that group chat. A lot of them were top Donald Trump officials, in which they were pretty much discussing war plans. Let's call it what it is. If you don't know Jeffrey Goldberg, he is the Atlantic editor-in-chief. He was mistakenly added in the group chat. So this is the list of people that were in the group chat. First is JD Vance, Vice President; Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Still to this day don't know why they picked this man, but let's continue. Mike Waltz, he's the National Secretary Advisor; Tulsi Gabbard. Steve Witkoff was in there, Stephen Miller, Susie Wiles, Ratcliffe, and Marco Rubio. These people are just lackadaisically just texting about war plans. Like, be for real. Let's go through the released text messages. So Mike Waltz, he texts the group chat. He creates it. It says 19 members. Mike Waltz added you to the group. And shout out to the reporter for taking screenshots, because child. Because if he came out and he said, I was added to a group chat and they were discussing war plans, these people would have denied it. They definitely would have denied it. So Mike Waltz, he says, team establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is pulling together a Tiger team, deputies, agency, chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that out later this evening. Okay, not so bad just yet. Bro, there's more text messages. Right now, there's only really initials, so I can't really tell who's who. But when you see the text messages, I believe the first one is still Mike Waltz. He's asking to provide the best point of contact from your staff, from your team, for us to coordinate with over the next couple of days and over the weekend. Okay, calm. They add their staff or whatever. Mike Waltz, he texts again. He continues to go on. Y'all can read. Y'all can pause and read. I kid you not. Here comes JD Vance. Good golly gee. JD Vance. Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. This text message really exposes JD Vance, in my opinion. You can say I'm reading too much into it, but he comes off as a person where he'll say his opinion, but he's not going to stand 10 toes down on his opinion. He was like, oh, whatever the vast majority says. I mean, I don't think we should do this, but hey, he's not innocent. Like, you agreed to the job, for goodness sake. So this is more text messages, and it gets worse because these people are getting more and more in detailed. Like, this conversation should be had like in person, over the phone, like something, but off an app. Be for real. Here comes Pete Hegseth. I cannot stand Pete Hegseth. This is where I want y'all to take a look. He says, I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on one, Biden failed and Iran funded. These people are so strategic. It gets worse, y'all, and I want y'all to just pause and read. I'm not going to read through the entire text, but goodness gracious, like, they are going in detail. This is like confidential information. And the fact that Tulsi Gabbard can lie straight up under oath prior to these text messages, prior to the remainder of the text messages being released, she said nothing was confidential. And then her tune changed the following day after he released the text messages, or not even text messages, app messages. This is ridiculous. Continue on. JD gives Hegseth the go. He says, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Where is Donald Trump? Like, are these people, like, where's Donald Trump? What shouldn't, like, understand people who are appointed, they are in charge of that position, they are in charge of that department, whatever the case may be. But I would think, like, the president would have final say. Like, this is just not settling at all. They go into deeper conversation. He says, fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. Yada, yada, yada. Now, this is where it gets more confidential. This is the confidential stuff, y'all. More confidential. Pete Hegseth, time now, 11:44 Eastern time. Weather is favorable, just confirmed. And he, like, literally, it's like a shopping list. And detailed, launch, trigger-based, strike drones on target. Like, what? Why are you sending this through an app? Like, it's another conversation in regards to why are we doing it, but just this alone, why is this being sent and talked about through an app? That is so irresponsible and so incompetent. Like, I just can't. Like, when this first came out, I generally thought it was AI. I was like, this is no way. Like, this is false. Until he started releasing more messages, I'm like, yo, these people act so incompetent. They act so incompetent. JD Vance praying for victory. Mike Waltz says something JD Vance didn't really understand. He says, sorry, typing too fast, yada, yada, yada. JD Vance says, excellent. Yeah, and that's pretty much where the messages stop. They say, great jobs, kudos. This is the group chat. This is the group chat, and it says JG, which is you. Where it says you, that's the name and the initials of the reporter. This is so crazy to me. Like, this is so crazy to me. And the fact that he said that he left the group chat and they didn't even notice. Caroline Levitt, she clashes with the reporter over the claims that there were no war plans discussed in the Signal group chat. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this.
Ask you if I can very quickly. In the chat, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, details F-18s, Tomahawks, to some of the weapons that were used. He details the timing involved for this, all of which occurred 31 minutes before, as he says, F-18s would launch. The DoD manual details classified information as significant military plans, saying that is secret, that's classified. So what about, there are no methods, there are no sources, but that's not what determines what's classified. So what is it about what Pete Hegseth wrote that makes you say this is not classified?
Well, it's not just me saying that, Peter. It's the Secretary of Defense himself who is saying this as well. And he put out a very strong statement earlier today listing all of the things that were not included in that message that he sent to the group. And again, this message, there was no classified information transmitted. There were no war plans discussed. Why did The Atlantic downgrade their allegation about war plans to attack plans? They're now playing word games because they know this was sensationalist spin from a reporter who is well known for doing this. We have said all along no war plans were discussed, no classified material was sent. You have the Secretary of Defense saying that. You have the director of the CIA, the director of National Intelligence, the FBI director, all testifying to that under oath, and they should be trusted with that.
To be clear, Americans can make the decision for themselves, but whether is the
Sure.
you said it's not war plans. Would you characterize these as military plans, military operation plans?
I would characterize this messaging thread as a policy discussion, a sensitive policy discussion, surely, amongst high-level cabinet officials and senior staff.
But the president said that Pete Hegseth said none of this was classified. So given the president has seen it now, and given the president understands that significant military plans are deemed classified as secret, how does the president view none of this, which details times and weapons and more, as being not classified?
I've already been asked and answered this question. The president's thoughts on this remain the same today as they were yesterday,
On what basis?
as well as the Secretary of Defense. This question has been asked and answered. There was no classified material discussed.
But since we have these messages released, and you said that the president has now personally reviewed them, at the chat, at one point, Pete Hegseth wrote, 14-15 strike drones on target, and in all caps he said, this is when the first bombs will definitely drop. Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay,
Philip.
I might follow up on what you had just said.
Go ahead, Philip. Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up. Philip, go
I have
ahead.
a follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up.
I already know they don't like Caitlyn. They don't really rock with CNN. The way they can just lie. I understand people are like, oh, MAGA, no matter what. That's weird. Don't put your identity in your political party. You need to call out when things are wrong and when things are right. Okay, I understand people are comparing. Well, what about Hillary Clinton and her emails and this and the third? Can two things be right? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I generally don't get how people are making excuses for this. I generally don't. But let me know your thoughts on the comments down below. What do you think? At this point, I don't even feel like this doesn't even feel like real life anymore. I'm just like, yo, Heavenly Father, have mercy, have mercy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I love y'all all. God bless y'all. This is Uduak, connecting people with policy. Toodles! That was kind of loud. That little toodles. Like, really?